that's when their minds are free to wander. And their minds aren't occupied by fight or flight. And they're not occupied by, how am I going to survive this? Rather, they're thinking creatively because they feel free to think creatively. They feel safe to think creatively.
The act of drawing is an act of connecting and for me, understanding. So to me, it's a really critical part of my sort of professional practice as an architect and urban designer.
I've always been very interested in the idea of creativity and connections in terms of relationships, and the way in which relationships can guide and enhance creativity.
Firstly, get them to connect with themselves by exploring their values using Lego to build a model.
I think the common thread that connects everything is we love to create platforms for Indigenous artists to tell their stories through various different creative platforms. And
there's been an ABC article on them, and they talk about how the sketching in that group has helped them with their connection to each other and to their place, and in terms of social isolation in regional areas.
So I'm listening to the talks, and I'm going to be, you know, synthesizing and visualizing and then drawing as they're talking. So it's kind of a bit of an exercise in plate spinning.
We can make connections between how I see it in my model with how they see it. And so we then start to build all of these connections.
We've written a few songs. We had a big recording session down at Goodengary one time, which was really good fun.
There's a real need for that, but it's amazing how much of our brain is involved in this connection, and it's amazing the benefits you get from having real connection with people.
I am really interested in how people tick and how we can, operate and function better through warmer communication.
So actually having the blue and red flashing lights, people generally think that's everything in disaster management, but it's just that phase in response. To do that well and effectively,
I'm finding that those foundations that I laid all those years ago are still there, and you know, there's just some great people and some great contacts.
You talk about the paint factory in the art circles across the world. They know what it is more than what we do in our own backyard.
It's about connecting our future leaders with industry and new pathways after school.
My architectural project was called Young New Yorkers, and it was a proposal for a public art project that would be a platform for 16 and 17-year-olds being prosecuted as adults in New York State.
So you've got to do a fair bit of digging to really understand which material is better than another material. So to me, it makes sense that there's a central resource and then there's actual certified bodies that do that digging for us.
There's only so much that people can actually absorb unless there's an intermediary going, what does that mean for us? Let's have some questions, let's get some interaction going.